Okay, now I'm going to show you how to sew stitch in the ditch. I'm going to pretend that these two pieces, this is a waistband and this is a skirt, because for the most part, you do a stitch in the ditch when it comes to skirt items. So I'm going to do the stitch in the ditch inside the waistband. So I'm going to get my waistband and I'm going to put it on the edge of my skirt. And then I'm going to sew down my waistband to my skirt. So I'm going to open up the foot and I'm gonna put it in at a 1/2 inch, and then I'm gonna put my needle down and I'm gonna sew a little bit and do back stitch. So we're gonna do a regular seam all the way down, a plain seam. So we're doing a plain seam. When you get to the bottom, we're gonna back tack and release. So then you just have your plain seam. Now we're going to open up the waistband so it's facing up, and I'm going to flip over my skirt. I'm going to open up my skirt and make sure that the seams are facing up towards the waistband. So I want you to fold it over about a 1/2 inch over, and then we're going to fold it down again to the seam. So then I'm going to press it on the iron. So I'm going to go press it. So once you're done pressing it, it will look like this. So I pressed it down and then I pressed it towards that seam there, covering it. So then now we're going to do the stitch in the ditch right inside of the seam that you see on the outside of the waistband. A way to hold your waistband down is you can get a pin and you can pin it right along the seam line to make sure that nothing's gonna move. So you can grab your skirt and then pin it right in that seam. Weave it through that it comes out on the outside. So when you flip it, you know that your seam will be right here, barely holding down the waistband. So if you want to pin it going all the way across, if that's going to help you, you can. So once you've pinned it down, and if you looked on the other side that you're going to be sewing down the waistband, you're going to flip it around, and then you're going to lift up your foot, remove your first pin, and then I'm going to insert my item, my skirt, and then I'm going to make sure when I put my needle down that it's going right in between that seam that we're resewed. So once you get it right in there, you're going to do a few stitches and then do a back stitch. This seam is a very simple stitch. It's a plain seam, but you want to make sure that you're precise right in the middle of the seam on the outside. It's almost going to be like an invisible seam, but we're going to sew it right in the middle so it holds down the back of the skirt as well. So of course you're going to be using the same color fabric or same color thread so it doesn't see, but I'm using black so I can show you what's going to look like. You're going to get really in the middle of that seam. Take your time because you want it right in the center. And like I said, once you've pinned it, it should help you a little more. Take the pin out. And I like to hold my waistband and my skirt together so nothing moves around. And then when you get to the end, you're going to back tack. When you pick up and you lift up your skirt, you will see that you barely see that black thread underneath the waistband. And then if you flip it on the other side, you see that it held it down. And that is what you want it to look like, is the stitch in the ditch. And if you had the same color thread, you won't see it at all. And this is how clean it should look like as well.